Hello, horse racing fans, and welcome to the Sport of Kings, your window into the world of horse racing. Today, we'll visit with recently retired jockey Chris Loseth and his wife Tracy. Our trip down memory lane will feature the 2000 John Longdenn Handicap. Our race of the week is the British Columbia Breeders' Cup Oaks. Our salute to the champions features the 2002 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. And now here he is, BC's ambassador to the world of horse racing, Mr. Tommy Walski.
Recently, Hall of Fame jockey Chris Loseth announced his retirement after 31 years in the saddle. Last week, we showed you the first of two parts on the career of Loseth and what he is about to be doing in the latter part of his life. Let's go visit with Loseth, the person at Hastings and in the business we call loose. Chris winning is 8 in a row. What was that like? And how did you ever accomplish 8?
Well, actually, I only got 7. Our horse got suspended for a bad test, and they moved me up to the win.
No one else would. Everybody else would have said, yeah, I win the 8. You got to come out and tell the truth and say, well, no.
Actually, got one through the back door.
I got one through the back door. But it still was a very exciting day.
And it was a miserable Vancouver night.
It was
just,
yeah.
I mean, every single picture has got big raindrops in it, and it was just a miserable night, but it was sure something. It was, and everybody got on pins and needles, you know, oh, it's 1-4, he's 1-5, you know, it was really neat. There was a lot of electricity in the air over it.
The Gomez Award.
It meant an awful lot to me, Tom, because you're selected by your peers, and that was a big piece of recognition from people that I respect. That was a touching moment for me. Actually, that's probably the most choked up I've ever been as far as an acceptance speech for something. Like, that was pretty tough to get through, the first few minutes of it at least.
Are you missing it?
Not a bit, Tom. We're too busy. We're having, actually, the time of our lives. Like, we're working really hard.
Getting results. You know,
yeah, we're getting great results, and we got some wonderful horses to look forward to, and we got wonderful help. We got 2 guys working for us that are enjoying it as much as we are.
Did you realize there was life after horse racing when it comes to riding?
Oh, I knew years ago, Tom, that I would be connected in the training end of the business when I was done. Like, there was no doubt in my mind. When I quit riding in California in 1991, I went straight to getting horses ready for the sale at Delmar, and I worked there for 2 years. Then we went to Barrett's after that, but I did that for 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years, getting 2-year-olds and training ready. I knew at that time that I would be involved in that end of the game.
So you've seen other riders that they're lost when it's all over. I mean, it's sad.
Well, yeah, I think you have to find a passion. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying everybody should be a trainer or anything else, but I mean, when you're done riding, you're relatively still pretty young. There's not too many riders ride till they're 50. You better find something else where you can make a living and still enjoy yourself.
Hey, Tracy, what's his job?
He does a little bit of everything. I think we do. We work through committee. We have it's not just Chris and I. Everybody gets a vote. It's a good way to be. We talk things out, and you know, we've got Ole and my mom and Steve McDonald, and we've got a very small group of people, but they certainly have just as many rights, if not more, than we do in choosing scenarios and what they want to do and what they want to see for their horses. So.
What's your job out on the farm right now?
Well, we only got 2 training there right now, so I got Dennis Terry Jr. getting on them. Basically, I'm just overseeing and making sure, it's finding out where the horses are at and when they should come to town.
His work ethics, they're unbelievable. Your thoughts on that, and we'll ask Chris about where we got it from.
Well, you know what? I think that, this is something that you just either have or you don't. He's been like this ever since he first came around the racetrack, especially with Alan May. I mean, he did a lot of work, for Alan and mucking stalls and learning the hard way and coming up through the ranks and really putting the time in. And that's just been instilled upon him that that's how you get ahead and that's what you do. And so now with us, Chris cleans out 4 or 5 stalls a day, minimum, and can do a faster job and a better job than anyone else.
Is that how you feel, Chris?
Well, I wouldn't feel that way if I didn't have her driving me.
But I'm doing it too. I'm working too.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
We're both are working very hard to establish ourselves in this business, because this is a new end for both of us. Like, she just started training last year, and then I just retired. So this is a new business for both of us, and we're just trying to establish ourselves.
Outside of Danny Brock, I don't know any other jock that throw out his eagle to ride the pony in the post parade.
Tracy told me I had to do something. That was the easiest thing I could find to do.
He thinks he's getting paid for it, but he's not. He suddenly realized that the pony people get $18 a
And I was hoping that was beer money.
And he was hoping he was going to be able to stockpile that. But the scene and because he gets on these horses, he can warm them up the way he wants them warmed up, and it's a real plus. I mean, it's a real plus to be able to go out there and do that.
Do jocks listen to you when you're on the pony?
I never say anything, Tom. Just like when I was riding. I just tell them, when they first come out, I told Justin the other day, just let him run his race when he come out of notice. That was all we said the whole way. In fact, he even commented, said, well, you're not much for talking out here, are you?
What's in store for the future? What would you like to see for both of you?
Actually, I'd like it to stay exactly the way it's staying. Just train a few horses, better horses for ourselves and a few of our clients. Not get too big.
I personally want to continue buying nice horses, whether it be in Kentucky or BC or wherever. Raising, we have some nice brood mares, raising some nice foals, like Notice Otis. And don't get too big and keep involved.
And develop your young horses, and the ones that don't make it, get rid of quickly, because you don't want to pack dead weight.
Yeah.
And just try to have good horses in the barn.
Yeah.
Today in our memory lane portion of the program, we're going to be taking you back to the year 2000. You're going to be watching the Johnny Longdenn, the handicap, as we continue with our focus on many of the top horses who raced here at Hastings in the past. Horse you'll be watching is Yaletown, owned by Linda and Marlene Chisholms. After the race, we'll get you caught up with what has happened to Yaletown since he has retired.
Memory Lane is brought to you by the Sport of Kings website, your window into the internet world of horse racing.
Down the lane they come. It's Mark My Dreams, but here comes Yaletown on the outside. Yaletown, Mark My Dreams, victorious type with a late run. Yaletown by a length and a half. Yaletown to win it. Tight photo for second.
Jerome, Yaletown, pretty nice horse. Update us.
Yeah, Tom, it was thrill of a lifetime stuff. You know, horses like that don't come around very often. There's people in this business for a long time that don't get a chance, and we had the opportunity, and what a thrill it was to race a quality individual like that. Right now, Tom, he's out at the Slow Motion Stables in Maple Ridge, and he's, pony, basically. My wife rides him, I ride him. I mean, we're all going to have him for life. You know, he's like the son I never had. And basically, as we say, he bought our house, and now we pay for his.
Don't go away. The Sport of Kings will be right back. Now to get you up to date with all the happenings in and around the track, let's saddle up with our own Carmen Thomas.
Last weekend was the BC Breeders' Cup Oaks, which we will be showing you later on in the show in this week's Race of the Week. But the festivities didn't end there. Sunday was also Ladies' Day. This meant special events for the ladies, including free makeovers and massages. Many women came to the track this day with hats. There was even a contest to award the person with the best hat. And there was live music by none other than me and my twin sister Camille. Last weekend was also the date for this year's $50,000 Richmond Derby trial. This is the big prep race for the upcoming BC Derby on September 24th. And this year, the Richmond Derby trial had an even greater significance as it automatically guarantees the winner a spot in the Derby.
The change was made because last year we had a situation where the BC, the Richmond Derby trial winner didn't get it, or just about didn't get into the Derby on earnings. And it almost makes sense that the trial winner should be an automatic in the Derby.
This year's Richmond Derby trial brought out a full field of horses ready to prove they'll be the horse to reckon with in the quickly approaching Derby. This included 2-year-old Horse of the Year Notice Otis, who is making his first stakes race appearance since his recovery from a life-threatening virus. This was a great race. Let's go take a look at the stretch drive.
As they turn for home, 3 abreast. Notice Otis from the rail. On the extreme outside, Appearance Fee and Spaghetti Mouse right there in between runners. Appearance Fee has the lead now by a neck. Spaghetti Mouse second, Notice Otis third. It will be Appearance Fee to score. Spaghetti Mouse second, Notice Otis third, and Timely Brush up for fourth.
Remember, racing fans, that tomorrow is your chance to meet your favorite jockey and support a good cause at the same time. It's the New Stride and Jockey Benefit Fund Barbecue taking place tomorrow after the races. Tickets for the barbecue are $20 and proceeds will go towards BC's thoroughbred adoption agency, New Stride. I spoke with New Stride's Vice President John Longdenn earlier this week to ask him about the barbecue and how this event benefits his organization.
We're a non-profit foundation. It's all by voluntary work. It's all by donation. So every bit of money that we can make by donation goes directly to feed and care for the thoroughbreds that are in our care.
And next weekend, the stakes races continue. This time, it's the CTHS Sales Stakes races. These races are only open to horses who have gone through the CTHS yearling and mixed sale. And if you want to own your own horse eligible to run in a future CTHS Sales Stakes race, come check out this year's sale. It's coming up this week, Monday, September 12th and Tuesday, September 13th. And from Barnum, I'm Carmen Thomas, and now you're back on track.
With the annual mixed sale being held Tuesday, we thought perhaps you'd like to get a little inside information on what perhaps to look for when you're buying a youngster. We asked owner, breeder, trainer Richard Yates for a few tips.
One thing I've noticed a lot of buyers do, particularly in venues where there is room, like Keeneland, Ocala, people will step well away from the horse just to look at the total animal to start with. That's what I like to do. I just like to step back and look at the horse in its entirety and ask myself the question, does this look like an athlete? Does this look like a racehorse? Some people will pick up feet, some people don't. I like to look at a horse's feet. I like to pick them up if it's dangerous with some horses. At some point you're going to have them ask the handler to walk the horse, and he's going to walk the horse away from you and back to you. You can usually see a little better walking away than you can walking towards you, how the horse tracks. Some really adventurous buyers, when they're back behind the horse, will lift the tail to make sure that the muscular development is symmetrical in the hind end and down under the tail, the parts that you normally can't see. Now, one thing that I like to do, I like to watch horses come out of the stall. When she puts this one back, I'm going to walk back and watch how it goes in. Horses that don't want to do what they're supposed to do make me a little nervous. I don't like horses that are difficult to get out. I don't like horses that are hard to put back in the stall. The most important thing, I think, is to just look at the horse and find something that you like. It's easy to look at horses and find things that you don't like. There are very few perfect race horses. I don't know that I've ever seen one. I'm sure people have been looking longer than me will tell you the same thing. They just don't see perfect race horses. But what you want to find in a horse are the things that you like about the horse, and decide whether the things that you don't like you can live with. Are they going to really affect soundness? That comes, again, from experience and luck. I think buying horses is probably, it's a lottery with about 75% just pure luck factor. And there's about a 25% skill testing element.
Don't go away. The Sport of Kings will be right back.
Today in our race of the week, we're featuring the 3-year-old fillies. They'll be competing in the highlight race of the Greater Northwest. It is the BC Breeders' Cup Oaks, was run last weekend here at Hastings Racecourse. We're going to be doing something a little different when it comes to this race today. We're going to tell you a horse to watch. That will be the number 2 horse, Monashee, ridden by apprentice jockey Justin Stein. The reason we're giving you the key on this horse is this. Watch the ride.